I'm Clara Hermit and this is another Naked Truth. It's me, I'm naked, I'm telling the truth. I wish I could sing really well, but I can't, and that's not what this episode is about. Hopefully you're listening, your ears are open, your minds are open, and you're ready to gather some information with me, from me. Together we will grow and become everything that we want to be. Boom! In today's video I wanted to talk about boobs, about my boobs specifically. If you're new to the channel you might know none of it. If you've been around for a while you might know some of it, but I wanted to discuss it because it's been such a huge thing for me. It starts with the fact that my mum died when I was 9 years old and I started getting bullied at school. I was like quite round and chubby, and also because I turned to food for comfort. Like my mum had gone, my whole world was destroyed, and it was kind of like no one spoke about therapy or anything like that. So I was just a 9-year-old trying to make sense of a world that made no sense whatsoever, and food kind of became my support system. So when I was at school I wasn't popular, I wasn't like a girl that the guys fancied or anything like that. Sometimes the people that bullied me didn't even realise how much they were hurting me. I think that they thought that I was fine with it and I could take it and it was just banter. And actually I would come home every night and just bawl my eyes out, and I got to a point where I hated myself. Like I hated not just my body, I hated me, and I couldn't understand why I had this life and why no one else liked me, and why I didn't look the way that other people did, and why I couldn't just be one of those popular people. I just felt really, really alone and really lonely. It was when I was about 14 or 15, I changed schools, and I decided in that summer holidays that I was going to change my physical appearance, that I didn't want to be bullied anymore. And so I did like this crash diet. I lost quite a lot of weight, and when I went to that school the way that people treated me was different, and I put that down to the fact that I'd lost weight. And then I became bulimic, and I had a bulimia for 10 years, and it was really severe. I hated myself and I wanted to be loved. I desperately wanted to be loved, and I didn't know how to ask for love. The only I guess like images and stuff that I'd really seen of love was like romantic love. So that's what I really wanted to seek. That I wanted people to find me attractive. I thought that's where my value lay. I thought that's what made me who I was. I thought that's what made me of value, was to have people find me attractive. So when I was 20 years old I decided to have a breast augmentation, so to have a boob job basically. It changed my life a little bit. Like by this point I was, I guess, like really skinny. I was wearing like 2 padded bras and chicken fillets, which are like those, they look like chicken fillets basically, in my bra, because I was so ashamed of my body. I was so ashamed of the fact that I had like no chest. I just wanted people to like me, and what actually happened is that I had this operation done, and it maybe gave me more confidence in my physical appearance, but I still hadn't learned how to communicate with people. I didn't know who I was or what I wanted. I was like this desperately needy person who just wanted to be loved. And if you can imagine like the two things, the way that I looked and the way that I felt, it just led to like absolute disaster. I attracted the wrong kind of people, probably because of the mental space that I was in. How I felt about myself and my self-worth was that I didn't have any, regardless of like having this operation and looking a certain way. I really did not have any love for myself. I was so horrible to myself, and I really like hated myself. And then I started presenting, and the thing that I noticed that people noticed about me was, you know, my boobs. And I put like so much pressure on myself to always look a certain way, and I felt like that's where my value lied. My value lied in people finding me attractive, in my appearance. That's what was important, that's what people wanted, that's what made me me. And then my mum, as I said, died of breast cancer. My sister also got breast cancer and she died, and I had a test done and discovered that I carried the BRCA1 gene, which gave me an 85% life chance of getting breast cancer, which is what my sister carried that gene mutation. It's a gene mutation. She carried that as well. I made a decision to have my breasts removed and reconstructed. My whole entire world changed when I did that. Everything changed when I did that, because I'd put so much attachment on my boobs and their importance and the value of other people's opinions of me, of the way that other people perceive me, the way other people thought about me. I thought that was so important and so valuable. And because I thought that was so important and so valuable, when it came to the fact that I was going to have this operation, I was like, oh, what's going to happen? I had the operation and I went back to work, but none of my life made sense anymore. I mentioned it in another video where people said, oh, you know, like people have been really shitty in the comment section and saying like, oh, if you have your boobs removed, I'm going to unsubscribe, she has her boobs removed. I was at a point where I was like, no, I'm doing this for me because I think it's going to help, and I'm not going to let anyone's opinion hurt me. I'm not going to let other people's opinion hurt me. But what happened when my boobs removed, I didn't lose my magic, but I lost this facade that I'd built. I lost this persona that I'd built, and that was never really me. It was something that I'd built to cope with the situations that I'd created. So then I was like, who actually am I? Who is Clara? Who is this person? What does she want? And I had to discover love for myself. I had to discover where my value was. I had to discover that it has nothing to do with anybody else or anything that anyone else has to say. That's their opinion and that's their business. What someone else thinks of you is their business. And if you're worrying about their business, then what's over here happening with your business? Because you can't be over there worrying about their business and taking care of your own business. And when I thought of it like that, I was like, oh my God, yeah, I spend so much time worrying about other people and thinking that other people's opinions is where my value lies, that I'm losing myself. So that's when I quit everything and I went traveling, for 10 months. I've been back for 2 years now, and I went 3 years ago. It just was like a chance to discover who I am without any of that. Going somewhere where no one attaches anything to me. The people I meet don't know anything about me, only what I choose to tell them. You leave those bits behind, those expectations of other people, and just get to be yourself. We live in a society where there is so much focus on physical appearance and what we look like. It's there for men, and the pressure is there for men, and the pressure for women, I would say, is definitely there, and is even more so because it's been around for so much longer. We have pressure with, you know, we shouldn't age, our bodies should look good, our makeup, too much makeup, not enough makeup. Look, there's all of this stuff going on. And there's a couple of things that I've come to realise about this. One is that companies selling products to us need us to feel insecure, need us to feel incomplete, so that they can tell us and sell to us that the things that are going to make us complete and going to make us whole. That's what these images are about, that we're bombarded with, that tell us, look this way, this is beautiful, that's not beautiful, this is beautiful. What we find beautiful, we've been programmed with. So it's not really what we find beautiful, it's what society wants us to find beautiful, and we believe it and take it on board so much that we punish our own selves when we don't fit into that mold, when we don't tick all the boxes of these crazy beauty standards. Beauty isn't even about that. It's not about that. It's about what's in here, and it comes through and it shines through. Like 3 or 4 years ago, I would never have sat on a camera with no makeup on chatting away. I just wouldn't have bothered, because I would have felt so insecure and so ashamed. Like looking at it, I would have like picked holes in myself and been like, you look terrible, why have you done that? And that would have gone in my mind, and I would have been embarrassed, and I would have been ashamed that I had sat there without makeup on. And that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And it's also my choice whether or not I allow society's restrictions to allow me to feel that way. And I don't. And I also don't need the approval of anybody else. And this is where the happy medium is for me. I find balance. I find balance here. And here is, if you compliment me, that's great. If you hate me, that's great. But I stay here. Because if I'm a person who lives for compliments and needs attention, male attention, female attention, then it means that I'm giving away my power. I'm giving away my power to the person that's going to compliment me, but just as easily giving my power away to somebody who is going to negate me. I've come to realize that I need to have this balance here. I need to know who I am. I need to know my own worth. I need to love myself. I need to care for myself. And what anybody else thinks of me and what anybody else does is entirely up to them. But in this space, in this balanced space, I will only allow people into my life who can mirror to me my own feelings of myself. Now, this isn't to say that I don't ever have days where I'm like, oh my God, and the mind starts to go. My mind is just off. And unless I catch it, unless I'm aware of that mind and I catch it, nope, 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 I could still be telling myself those stories, and I could still be saying, you are not good enough, you are not worthy, you are not beautiful enough, you are not attractive enough. And I could still be telling myself that my worth is based on what other people think of me, how attractive people find me, how much attention I get. But I have decided to step out of that rat race and to own my own self, my body, my beauty. We're going down this path where people think, oh my God, I need to change my physical appearance, and when I just do that, life is going to be perfect, because my physical appearance is what gives me success, is what gives me love, is what gives me happiness. That's absolutely not true in any which way, shape or form, and I want to say that. And I want to stop everyone feeling so pressured. Like, I read about it all the time. People feeling so pressured to look a certain way, for their bodies to be a certain way. And people get so insecure, and people have eating disorders, and people have mental health problems just based on this, when they are beautiful, lovely and amazing people. My insecurities, my lack of self-love and self-worth led me to surgery. That's serious. Let's just stop being mugs and start looking in the mirror and realizing how amazing and blessed we are to even have bodies that function. That's how I see my body now, this functional tool that I've been given, this gift that I've been given that allows me to do all the things that I love to do. My body is my best friend. It joins me on every single journey. If I'm like, babes, I want to climb that mountain, my body's like, okay, here we go again. If my mind's like, babes, I want to jump out of a plane, my body's like, okay, here we go. Our bodies are our support system. So rather than looking at them as items, as objects, as society wishes us to, that we can objectify and that we can judge, I feel like we should look at them as friends, as gifts, as tools, as the brilliant things that they are. And rather than being like, yeah, but my nose isn't like this, or my eyes aren't like that, or I've got too many wrinkles, or my lips, or my boobs, or my butt, or my whatever, we should just be like, yeah, but I can hug people, I can walk, I can run, I can skip, I can climb, I can sit down, I can lay down, I can swim, I can roll, I can laugh. So much beauty lies in that space. Thanks for watching. This has been The Naked Truth. I'll be back with another one next week. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that good jazz. My name is Clever and I am funky. I did not come to play around.